Thanks, Pat. I have two process requests and then a question. On the process, is it possible to, CENTCOM has been putting out the report, the Houthi attacks when they do their, but we haven't got, unless I'm missing it, we're not getting the same for the Iraq-Syria requests regularly, attacks by militants and American personnel or facilities in Iraq and Syria. It would be great if we could get the same on that. And also just a request again to see if we can get on the strikes on Yemen and then on Iraq and Syria, just get in the vicinity of locations, because that makes it a lot easier for us to cross-check stuff that we're hearing from the region. And then my question for you is, can you talk a little bit about how the department is seeing the fact that you're conducting these strikes in Iraq and Syria and against these Iranian-linked militants, but those militants are on the payroll of the Iraqi government. How are you guys approaching that fact? They're officially part of Iraqi security forces. Some of the sites that you're hitting are described as joint facilities that are used by these, officially, again, part of the Iraqi security forces. How are you all thinking about that? And what's the dialogue with the Iraqi government about that? Obviously, they've made their unhappiness known.
Yeah. Recognizing some of what you have probably seen in regional reporting and social media, what I would tell you is that as we conduct these strikes, we are very focused on Iranian-backed proxy groups and not PMF. Again, that is our focus. It's not on striking ISF or Iraqi security forces or personnel that are part of the legitimate Iraqi security forces. So that includes groups like Kata'ib Hezbollah, Han, which we've talked about, and again, folks or militants that are associated with the IRGC. And so as we conduct our planning and our targeting and our operations, it is very deliberate and it is very carefully calculated to strike those capabilities. What was the second part of your question?
That was just the question. How do you draw that line? Because my understanding is that at least a good part of those groups are part of the PMF, which is officially now part of the Iraqi government.
Again, we're striking terrorist groups that are supported by the IRGC.
Well, that doesn't make sense.
Which I think also are part of the PMF, though.
Again, I'm gonna
have high-level positions in the Iraqi government who are designated terrorists.
As I understand it, the folks that we're striking are not part of the PMF.
So can I just follow up on what Missy's asking? Because the Prime Minister of Iraq went to visit wounded militants who were injured in attacks by the U.S. military, and they were part of the PMF. Or, if that was not the case, that's what the statement from the Iraqi government was. If they were not, he was visiting what you're calling sort of Iranian proxies that are technically.
Yeah, I can't speak to the Iraqi Minister of Defense. Again, we've been very clear in terms of what the groups that we're targeting and the capabilities that we're targeting that are associated with the IRGC and Iranian-backed proxies who are facilitating and conducting attacks on U.S. forces, and that is our focus. Obviously, when it comes to the Iraqis, Iraqi security forces, and the Iraqi government, Iraq is a valued partner. Continue to work closely with Iraq on counterterrorism efforts, and I'll just leave it at that.